And we're back for game number 2 of our second Western series of the day. Mousesports leads EG 1-0 here in this best of 3. Both teams seeking their first best of 3 win and trying to get something going in the win column. Mousesports, they look damn good in game 1, and they're not going to fix what's not broken. They're going to grab up Marana and Clockwork once again. Crit running the mid Marana absolutely dominated. Certainly had a lot of help from rotations out of his supports. They'll look to replicate that success here in game 2. EG, though, going to change things up. First picking the Prophet, fogged most likely, though, back on the Venomancer. I'm your host here at AC Chambers, joined once again by Ben Merlini Wu. And, yeah, man, Mousesports switching Syndrome into the support position. You obviously can't just point out and be like, well, that fixed everything. But it certainly seemed to make a difference. Their movement was much more focused. They had a lot of really nice rotations. Individual performances were standout as well. And I think that's kind of what we all knew could happen when you have a team this experienced and this talented. If they can put it all together, they're going to look damn impressive.
Picks already a lot better for them. Banning out the bat, I mean, if they don't want to play against it, then that's fine, but I certainly don't think they should pick it up. That was just a problematic thing for them. Mousesports, though, getting Clockwork, that is a big issue for them. I mean, Clockwork has been played pretty well. It looks like they're just going with the same picks as last game with the Marana, with the Clockwork. I fully expect Syndrome to be on that support role again, and does EG have a solution for that?
Tough to call. Do want to just make mention of some news that just broke coming out on Twitter. Korok has actually been released by Team Dignitas. Just happened. So we're still kind of in the tail end of the roster shuffle madness following the International. Seemed like most teams had settled down, but now with a major team, major brand anyway, having an opening and probably looking to do some shifting. And Korok, a pretty big free agent. Of course, we don't know the details of why he was removed or whether he's going to remain active in the pro scene, but yeah, just want to throw that out there to the viewers. It just came across Twitter right before we loaded into the game, and our good friend Conrad alerting me to the situation. I like Korok a lot, so I hope he finds a home and stays involved in Pro Dota. Anyway, Naga Siren going to be picked up by Mouse this time around. We saw the hero kind of passed over in game 1. This time, though, her initiation, counter-initiation potential off the charts, as well as Ensnare working with Sacred Arrow. Really, I think of all the spells you can use to work in conjunction with Marana Sacred Arrow, Ensnare is probably the best. There's literally nothing you can do to get away from it once the animation for the ability starts. Guarantees an arrow hit so long as creeps don't get in the way.
And I'm surprised they looked over it last game, but yeah, Venomancer being high on the draft too. He's like decent a lot of the times, but he really needs to be like against heroes that can't really do anything about it. Like Clockwork, you can just hook shot and you're going to get your ultimate off and you're slow, but the slow's pretty much useless. Marana can just leap away. Like if it's going to stick, maybe like even on a hero like Lifestealer, then it's much more effective. Or if you can get an early lead and push with it, then it's very effective. But I think he's more of a situational pick than a everything support.
Yeah, I agree. Some teams have been prioritizing, and actually we saw that earlier today as well. The Venomancer just coming out in conjunction with a lot of heroes. You'll occasionally see him picked up with any kind of an aggressive lineup. He can be played fairly defensively, does add push and counter push. In this case, they're going to have the ability to use him a little bit earlier with Nature's Prophet and Venomancer forming a pretty nice pushing tandem. Timbersaw, seeing him back in play. I haven't seen Timber in a while. He's been getting a lot of ban priority from most teams lately. Will be third picked up by EG. That's going to give them a chance to try to take the fight to Mouse instead of what happened last game, which was basically they got hit in the jaw a couple of times, found themselves on the ropes, and Mouse just never gave them any space to breathe.
Yeah, MSS's Timbersaw is much better too. So I think that, yeah, EG already doing pretty well in the draft. Nature's Prophet too will allow them to secure their early game, hopefully, if they want to do a try-on-try, the Nature's Prophet TPing in, or simply just hitting level 6 and casting Wrath of Nature. That can just win a tri-lane on its own.
And, yeah, I mean, that's something that is often overlooked. You talk about Prophet. I mean, if he gets a good start, gets a quick 6, especially if he gets a couple of levels ahead, like gets level 2 Wrath of Nature up against these targets. I mean, Clock's a little bit tankier, but Marana and Naga, I mean, less Marana, basically that's the problem with Marana in the carry position. She doesn't really, I mean, she has some innate escapability. She has her ultimate, which helps the whole team. She has leap and so forth. But if you don't build her tanky, she tends to drop really, really quickly to focus fire. And if you do build her tanky, her damage is just like hitting with a wet noodle. It just doesn't really scale all that well. So, I mean, unless you're crit and you go 10-0 and you're beyond godlike and have more gold than Lazarus. And yeah, all that fun stuff. So still waiting on that fourth pickup from Mousesports, and at this point, I would just like to see them. Okay, I was going to say they can get a support, or I would just like to see them go all team fight at this point. I mean, they know what EG's plan is going to be. They're going to split push with the Prophet. They're going to try to fight with their other 4 to free space up for him. We've yet to see the carry, and that's a big question for me for EG. Who's going to be on carry this game? We saw that Fear was there game 1. Are they going to stick with that, or maybe they're going to try to give Jo the carry position back and see which felt better?
I mean, they've just been playing with Jo with it for a few weeks. I think in like a very close matchup like this, I think Mouse and EG are fairly evenly matched. I think you want to just go with tried and true. And Mousesports, yeah, their lineup's looking pretty solid. Synderen has a pretty solid Lina, so I expect he'll do pretty well on that. And a Chen pickup by EG too. So they're just going just like completely different strategy than before, with split push, with a not like hyper aggressive mid, but he doesn't actually rely on a blink dagger, so that's a really big boon for them. And the only common thing that we see from both games are Venomancer for EG's draft.
Yep, the Chen pickup is going to make this a pretty push-centric lineup. Timbersaw can fit into that fairly well. He's not quite a Clockwork or a Puck in terms of his reach and ability to engage on enemies behind the tower, but Chakram very effective at zoning enemies off of their own tower if you just want to let treants, you just want to let Chen creeps begin to bang away. A lot of slow push potential here, and that mid Timbersaw, as you said, most likely going to be run by MSS, so they're still looking for their carry one way or the other, be it Fear or Jo. I agree with you. I think just sticking with Fear to finish out this series probably going to be the right call. The question's going to be, are they going to try to farm a Juggernaut? Like, you fit a Juggernaut into a lineup like this pretty effectively and really just be able to put the screws to Mousesports.
Turn to pick.
And Shadow Fiend banned out. That's pretty good ban. They Mousesports banned out the Spectre, just afraid of the Nature's Prophet plus Spectre combination. What are they going to use as their carry, though? I doubt it's going to be a Lifestealer. Lifestealer just gets locked down by this way too much. I think they could do something like an Alchemist. He is very, very tanky, and they have the Chen send back if something bad happens to him. And they do need some lockdown. They don't have any stuns in their lineup right now, which is a slight issue. So I think he's just a good frontline hero. Gyrocopter's like okay, but still doesn't really offer any stuns. So I think Alchemist is my top pick for them. Weaver is not great. It's not terrible though. It's not great versus Bounty Hunter. It's not great versus Lina, but we have seen Jo play it effectively though.
There's the Alchemist pick. Got to snag him up, and wouldn't surprise me a bit to see him go with a quick couple of points into Acid Spray. That way he can join in the pushing fun right off the bat. And pretty straightforward lineup, I'd say, for EG. Just get out, try to fight, use Alchemist, phase BKB sounds like a real good idea. And just try to not let Mousesports get ahead like they did before. I mean, they are going to have some squishy targets once again. Timbersaw, obviously not that squishy. And that is something worth mentioning. The Lina pick deals very nicely with the Timber so long as Timber's not crazy far ahead in levels or gold. Having the burst damage from Laguna Blade, very, very nice. And they do have a fair amount of burst, especially if they're able to catch him with the Sacred Arrow. Sacred Arrow followed up with Lina's Laguna Blade and her entire Dragon Slave and Light Strike Array combination, and Bounty, of course, adding a little bit of extra burst to go with it. So they have the tools to deal with that. But other than him, pretty squishy across the board. They're going to have access to a Venomancer for some kills. They're going to be able to track down Chen fairly frequently. And the Nature's Prophet. Even well-farmed Prophets tend to feel very squishy. Just because they don't tend to build survivability. They tend to build either damage or utility. So
Fear is on Alk, and Chen is on JO's on Chen. I haven't seen JO play Chen.
Me either. No idea how it's going to work out.
It should be okay though. I mean, it's not like you're going to put a player that can't play Chen on Chen.
Right.
I would hope so.
And Crit's actually going to be midding the Lina. This is fascinating. Mid Lina coming out for them. That is, they're going to put Unicorn on the Mirana this time. And this is going to be so fun. I don't think I've ever seen a mid Lina in pro play. I mean,
I've seen it one time. It was versus a Lifestealer, and Dendy was playing the Lina.
It's so fun. You'll see this in pubs and amateur play some, and just call it saying you see an amateur doesn't mean it's an amateur move. It just you're only going to get what you get out of this. She's been pulled a couple of tangos of salve and started with a null talisman, so she knows what she's going to be up against. That's going to be MSS on the Timbersaw. Down here at bottom, you can see Rise hiding out in the old jungle. Looks like he won't be spotted by EG. He might try to creep skip here, but that could be pretty chancy as Fogged has Gale and, of course, Fear there with Unstable Concoction if he decides to put his first point there.
Yep, Unicorn will secure an illusion rune up top, and top lane, like Universe, is going to have like a somewhat rough time, but as long as he manages his Nature's Call treants properly and uses it to block the arrow, then I don't think he should die. He should be like okay in terms of CS. He's not going to be like nothing like a 5-minute Midas, but he should probably be able to get like 8 or 9 minutes if it's a passive early game. But in mid, it's actually pretty good. I mean, the right clicks are going to come out from MS or from Crit, but he does have reactive armor, but Crit has a lot of magic damage, and that is something that MSS is going to have to be pretty scared of. We see Rise already trying to find Chen, and Chen is actually trapped there.
Yep, going to show himself. Joe getting a little bit of bonus damage, and we saw this the other day. Who was it that was doing it to Puppy? Can't remember who it was.
Admiral Bulldog, maybe?
No, it was Team Liquid. No. It was Liquid.
Liquid?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we saw that. Liquid just basically having the bounty follow the Chin around and make life miserable for him. And here in mid, MSS actually caught out as eating a fair amount of damage. 1 point in reactive armor, 1 into Whirling Death. And having to pop his salve already, there's going to be a Gale on the Rise. They have a sentry down, but he will outrun the range on it. They don't have another one. No, they do. It was actually on the Chin and not on the Veno. So Rise, under a little bit of threat, but manages to survive.
Fear just farming bottom. Looks like a 1 point in Greevil's Greed, 1 point unstable concoction. No acid spray yet. MSS still pretty far away from his bottle. Crit taking some harass too. They're both fairly equal in terms of bottle, but yeah, Crit's somewhat low on mana, so I don't think he can keep the pressure up for that much longer, especially with 2 points of reactive armor by Timbersaw.
And Fear has unstable concoction going. We'll toss it just as a howdy do. And elsewhere, things remaining pretty quiet, but Crit, once again, having a good game. He's leader in CS, sitting at 8-1. Timber's right there with him, though, so not like a huge gulf, as he's got about 6 under his belt.
Oh, no.
Universe trying to CS up top, just getting a little bit of work done. Syndrin, in the meanwhile, creep stacking. He actually was not able to successfully pull that stack. What did he get on him from Chicken? A smoke, a couple of branches, and a tango too. MSS finally has his bottle though, so he should be perfectly okay in mid. Is he going to die at level 6? Probably not, since Crit doesn't have that much mana. Actually, Crit might be the one in trouble if MSS hits 6.
We can see Rise continuing to just follow Jo around, and Sentry's still down, so he will take some right click, but he'll be able to sit and soak up some free XP. And Jo, get out of here! Get out of here! Don't come back! Get out! But Rise
has boots first, though, so yeah, Rise is pretty safe unless Fog's there. Oh, bottom lane!
Bottom lane, we're going to have a catch out. Universe TP's in. Ace eats the unstable concoction. This would be a nice start for EG, and First Blood will go to Universe, coming in after a timely stun coming out of Fear. Has gone with 2 points in unstable concoction at level 3, so fair amount of damage, and well done.
Yeah, well done. This is the start that they need. And that's the thing. Nature's Prophet kind of secures your early game. Yeah, it might hurt his farm a little bit, but at least you'll win your lanes because of that. And they see Rise, they're trying to chase him out, and they have 3 people hot on his tail. Universe, just gonna get a little bit of creepage action while he waits for his teleportation. And they just received prize for First Blood. What?
A little bit of server delay, I would suppose. Rise continuing to just soak XP. Sentry goes down. They know he's hanging around. They can just watch. Up, he's going to be dusted. And Rise trying to get away. There's going to be the net. Couple of auto attacks. Universe is there to help out. And he actually takes that kill as well. So Universe notching another kill. And EG's movement's so much more effective this game.
Yeah, they're just doing a lot better as a team, man. Fear, I mean, Jo seems to be a very competent Shen player too. And yeah, Fear farming away, that is something that Mouse is going to have to worry about sooner rather than later. He does have treads up, so not a super heavy farming build. Let's see what Unicorn is going. He has his Bassy if he wants to push a tower. He has boots of speed too, so no Midas rush from either team. Crit, meanwhile, mid. He does not have enough mana to keep up the pressure on MSS. The region from him is just way too much. He does not have level 6 yet. He actually has 1 point in Fiery Soul. We see this build sometimes, and looks like, yeah, Clockwork got a kill on bot. I was not watching there.
Yep. Got there just in time to see it. It was a battery assault kill. There's going to be a net in return, though. Jo was trying to smoke out along with Fog. Rises back to safety. Ace will be sprouted in for sure, and yep, eats the test of faith. Got the cogs down, but the damage is there. So they trade Clock for the Alchemist, probably a trade they'd be willing to make, but they may push off of this. They've got a fair creep wave. There's a Nature's Call right next to the tower. They're going to pop the glyph. Rise, just level 3.5, can't really do a whole lot to stop this or to threaten either of these.
They need a Bassy.
Yep. Here's the TP back in. And Ace comes in, and that should be enough to force them off, and it will be.
They get a fair amount of damage on the tower, though, and force out a glyph. But in the meantime, top lane just farming away. Unicorn does have free farm. He has his phase boost, so definitely a fighting build coming out from him. Universe very close to his Midas, just about 50 gold away. So I fully expect him to farm that up. Meanwhile, MSS just very on par with Crit this game. Oh, we might actually see a kill attempt here.
Yep, goes for the Whirling Death, misses out on it. And what they're going to get out of Crit's really the big question mark for me. Universe has gotten his Midas up, so getting it out of 5.5 minutes, very solid start for him. He's going to be a big influence on the game no matter what else happens elsewhere in the laning phase. But, you know, you run a mid Lena. She's 6.5. You're going to continue to try to get her what you can. She's got something coming out to her now, just a bottle, it looks like.
On bottom.
And on bottom, Ace caught with a Gale, but has the hook on command, ready to hook himself. Yep, hook himself to some creeps.
MSS.
And Crit. Oh, he got off the Light Striker AMSS right on his tail, bottling up. There's the Courier dropping off his bottle. The Chakram. Woo.
Oh, if he let it stay there for like 1.5 more seconds, he would have gotten a kill. He almost had that.
Rise spots out Fogged, rotating over. And Timbersaw actually gets a DD. Oh, Fogged actually got caught with the Dragon Slave, the Shuriken there to burst him down. Crit might be in trouble here. He will be in trouble. And Rise doesn't. Oh, now he does. Oh, there's Universe coming in. Looks like he thought about it.
Nice ultimate by Universe right there. Yeah. And EG getting off to a very good start to this game. Nature's Prophet doing well, but we haven't seen anything out of bottom. That's the thing. Like, if you leave her free farming, it's just like, is that really that big of a threat? No. Right. But if you leave it Alchemist free farming, you're like, well, crap. He's going to have like a 5-minute Midas, like a 8-minute Treads, and just like 12-minute Shadow Blade if you leave him alone. But bottom, she can't farm that fast, and she can't push that fast either.
See, and that's my big question. You run the Lena mid, that's fine. Now they need to do something with him, and they're going to. Fresh up with a fresh mana pool, going to have his entire chain completely available to them. Even has 1 point in a Fiery Soul.
Been looking for a kill on bottom. The Crit is smoked behind, but Fear sensed it out. And see, this is the thing about Fear. He's a good carry player. He has good sense about what's going to happen around the map.
Here comes the rest of Mouse. Still not level 6 on the bounty, so no track kills possible. Crit.
Oh yeah, looks like he might actually die here. As I talk about his good sense.
Right now, Mouse is splitting up. Crit's going to make his way back to mid, actually. So if they take a run at it, they're going to be doing so without him. And Rise is going to be there. Gets on the other side of JO. There's the Janata, the ensnare afterwards. Shuriken, Riptide, Dust goes off. And he gets some damage done. Fogg's going to collapse. They're going to at least get one. Rise drops. Synderen should be able to get away with the help of Mouse.
They should have gotten 2 there. If Fear casts it on Synderen and then they just Gale the Bounty Hunter, that's 2 kills for them. Unless Clockwork counter initiates, but then they're very likely to just give up 3.
And Crit eating a lot of damage out of MSS. Now he's got Laguna Blade available. He might think about spinning, and here he's bottling up. Dragon Slave, Laguna Blade. There it is. And one
I don't
nice.
understand why he just didn't run away. He could have just Timber Chained up over here, or just up the hill over here and just gotten away. But yeah.
One of the best ways to deal with reactive armor is to just not care about it. Heavy Burst. A nice counter to Timber. In the meantime, Unicorn is getting some split push done at top. He has his top tier 1 down to about half. 48 CS, he's leader on the board. MSS in second place right behind him, then Fear at 37.
Man, look at Universe. Treads, Midas, and a Ring of Protection at 8 minutes in. That is a ridiculous farm from him.
Yep. Well, I mean, he's participated in so many kills. He's only gotten 2. I thought he was involved in at least 1 more. But
he's like, he's shown his TP off.
Yep, exactly. And EG moving back down. They know Rise is hanging around. We can see the pings coming out from Jo, suspecting where things are happening. Ace is there too, and there's going to be a hook. Crit's under there.
Nice dodge.
Under an Invis rune, and
Fog is just running around it. Drop a Sentry Ward, bro. Oh, he's like, wow, look at that reaction. That was so fast from him.
Yes, it was. And here comes MSS looking to get some payback kills. Will be able to get at least 1. Universe has come in as well. Crit next on the list, eating too much damage. He dies. There's a stun on the Ace. Fear runs into the cogs, but it's not going to matter. Chakram there, plus Whirling Death. And this is basically a mirror of Game 1, except EG, the one in utter dominating position, short of 10 minutes. The gold lead now up to plus 2,000. Sans any sort of a tower kill. The experience, though, pretty close to even.
That was literally like one of the fastest reactions I've seen after a Sentry Ward has been placed. He, like,
place it, and literally within like a quarter of a second, I turned around and already KO'd the Lena. And he also made the conscious decision too. Like he didn't actually. Oh, Unicorn gonna die there.
Yep, leapt across.
Oh, is he gonna
No,
die?
they do get him.
Right place, right time. But yeah, he made the conscious decision to go on the Lena, which is a higher priority target with less defensive abilities than a bounty hunter too. So that's just very quick decision making by Fog.
Boom, there it goes.
And Fogg, a phenomenal support player, doesn't get enough credit, I don't feel, in many cases. We saw Mouse actually get the tier 1 top, so they didn't lose Lena or Mirana, I should say, for absolutely nothing. But
Fear's in danger. Yeah.
Fear's walking into a trap. There's an ensnare to follow it up. Crit's there with the unstable, catches the unstable concoction, but gets off the light strike array, pursuing Fear down. Has his ulti if he has to spend it, and just gonna hang on to it, knowing they didn't need it. A little bit of return damage done, and we'll see if they want to pursue it out. Nope, Jo hanging back. Thought Universe might want to try to come in, but not going to be the case. Mouse gets a free one.
Rising 6 as soon as possible on this bounty hunter. He is hurting and hurting bad. 1-3-1 on him, level 5, just barely level 5. I think this is perfectly fine by him to just sit in mid, but not if he dies.
Unicorn's coming in, shows his face. That should be enough to scare him back a little bit. You can see Rise even using Shuriken Toss at this point just to get some extra gold. And we're going to see Fear head back down to bottom to continue farming up. So EG looking to settle back for a minute. This will make some space for Mouse to get that bounty to 6.
I see. And yeah, Universe barely dodging a gank out there. I'm surprised that Ace didn't. I don't know if he had vision of that, but if he had a hookshot, Universe would have been dead, and they need to keep him down. Looking at him, he's going Staff of Wizardry, so he's going the Admiral Bulldog anti-clockwork build.
And still watching and waiting on Rise. Ace and Rise sticking together. Ace has had a fairly solid game. I mean, he's sitting at 1-3, but he has had influence. Yep. Will be caught out. Rise going to be chased away, but they're going to get a pretty nice kill on the Ace. There's the Moonlight Shadow. He's going to try to TP away. Will make it. And behind the fight, though, we can see MSS chasing down Rise. Unicorn's there. Chakram will get the kill. Crit was coming in, and the arrow dodged MSS. Snagging Invis on top. There's the ensnare. Wishes he had that arrow now. Crit, quite low health, heads for the high ground. Thought about throwing a spell out. Universe almost came in right on top of him.
They should have went for that. If he pushes up the hill, Furion TPs from behind, and the two heroes come past the T1, they are just dead meat there. So a little bit of missed opportunity, but MSS picks up the Invis rune. Looks like they're still going to get a couple of kills.
Synderen has Song and will spend it, but not before they manage to get Crit.
They missed so many spells right there because of that Song of the Siren. Synderen.
Yep. And he's going to be cleaned up with Chakram. Jo rotates over. Unicorn next on the list. And MSS going to be sent back after doing some damage. Actually, cut it a little close, didn't you, buddy? Had to use his wand charges just to keep up.
You didn't realize that Chen is only level 6 with level 2 Test of Faith.
Oh, another big trade goes the way of EG. And they're getting payback with some style. There goes a tower shot. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that Song of Saturn just came like half a second too late. Synderen Crit had already died. The arrow was flying out already too, and Clockwork had caught quite a few with battery assault. So just a very untimely sleep from them. And that's the thing about Song of Saturn. Sometimes if you don't cast it right, it just completely bones your team. Yep. And Crit, as you talked about, like you were wondering what are they going to do with Lena mid, and it looks like really not that much. He is just so vulnerable right now, and with a Shadow Blade up, man, he gets that is brutal. That is ugly.
You know, we were talking about previously, you know, Crit's experience at mid, said I'd seen him play a lot of mid disruptor. It's the same problem you have running a mid lane as a mid disruptor. You don't run that hero there to snowball. It just doesn't work that way. You run that hero there for a very specific purpose. You have to go, okay, once we get level 6, level 7, once X item comes out, we're going to begin to do X. Apply pressure to the Alchemist. Try to take towers. Hopefully Rise is 6 and we look to just get single picks and then maybe push off of it. And there just really wasn't I don't feel like there was really a great game plan from them and what they wanted to do with Crit on this Lena. I mean, he started out fine, but so far since he's left mid, he just really hasn't been that effective.
Yeah, and I mean, Unicorn too on the bottom. Yeah, you farmed up for the first 15 minutes of the game, but what have you contributed since then? Meanwhile, Universe getting chased out on top. He has support though.
Yep, here's MSS coming in. Unicorn right on top of him, spins the point blank Sacred Arrow. Ace still has a double damage. Looked like he wanted to hook there, but thought better of it. Synderen was coming in from the back. But right now, just a little too survivable for EG. 4 staff already up on Universe. MSS.
Rise in mid.
Brought down once again. And yeah, Fear's beginning to tally kills. He's at 3, 2, and 4. And net worth has got to be heading way up. Yeah,
Jado's actually a really good Chen, too.
Yep. Top 3 in terms of pure net worth belong to EG now as we cross 15 minutes. We can see the gold lead up to just about 75.
This might be very problematic for EG or problematic for Mouse if they run in 4v2.
They're going to move in. Pogs go down. He's going to try to play this defensive. Chakran comes out. Tower does end up dropping to Fear's Alchemist. And Mal's just, I mean, they feel like EG did in game 1. They feel like they're on the ropes. Like they just can't find any space.
Exact same thing as game 1 pretty much. Except just switch teams.
And Synderen going to be spotted out by Universe. There's a Sprout right-clicking uphill, so he misses a couple of them. And just staying on him at this point. MSS is there to chase him down here. The unstable concoction onto Ace. Light Striker Ray dodged by Fear. Meantime, here comes the rest of EG. Mega kill streak now for MSS. Universe started to Sprout and threw it blind. Unable to catch crit with that one. Fog is there. Hit him with a Gale.
Ran into it. Oh, no. He is so dead.
Oh, Song of the Siren. That one wasn't so bad. So Synderen able to...
Still going to die from the poison? What level is this poison? It's only level 1 Gale.
Yep. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Good song. Crit should not have. He like as soon as he dodged the Sprout, he like ran back into them and then got arrowed or not arrowed. He got galed. So if he had just run away, he would have not blown Sonic Siren. And now that's just a go word for EG. They're like, well, we can do Roshan, we can take the D2. They're feeling very comfortable in this game. And Alchemist too is just one of those heroes. Like you give him a little bit of farm, you get Shadow Blade, and he just immediately starts crushing. And he came even under a fair amount of pressure on bottom too, with the constant roaming from the Bounty Hunter, etc. And Unicorn was pretty much unhindered on top. So Bottom it's just like she doesn't do that much if you can't fight early with her, and 15 minutes is not what I would consider early. So I think what they should have done is just rotate the lanes a little bit, just put Bottom on bottom to right click the crap out of Alchemist so it hinders his farm, and then they need levels on Bounty Hunter so they can put him top up versus Nature's Prophet or versus pretty much nobody, since no one was there after Nature's Prophet constantly rotated. I think that would have worked out a lot better for them.
See the smoke gank on the bottom. Nobody home for Mouse. They lose at tier 1, and Fear's going to be able to go back and try to contest this if he wants. Looks like he may just await farm. They have a glyph if they want to spend it. They're pushing through at top, so the glyph goes off. They've got Chen plus MSS up there still yet.
Alk looking for a kill right now.
And goes in, tries to grab Rise. Here they go coming out. Chakram's going to catch a couple. Big reactions. Crit going to be caught with the Gale inside the Sprout. Synderen and the rest rotating out. And they left one at top to push. That's Jo. So they should be able to get that tower as they don't have a glyph. They're going to try to pursue it out still yet down at bottom. There's the unstable concoction on the Ace. Synderen's there. Thought about throwing the ensnare. Going to be hit with an urn charge. Fogged trying to chase him down. Gets the...
Oh, the ward doesn't actually hit him. He dropped the ward, but is MSS going to be able to clean up?
Sure will. Whirling Death. And EG looking like they're ready to take this one. Jo will be picked off in return at top. Didn't even manage to get the tower, so did cost them quite a bit. Bloodstone picked up by MSS, though, and yeah, it literally is just about exactly like the opposite of game 1, except for the Storm out with the quick Bloodstone. This time it's MSS with the quick Bloodstone.
He seems much more comfortable on Timbersaw, though. Like, look at his score this game, 8-1 and 3, and I mean it's a team effort too. Like they weren't messing with him as much, but he just seems a lot better with this hero. Just flat out, he's a good Timbersaw.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's just player personality. Hang on, we've got a reaction coming in. Fear's going to lay into it. Synderen comes into a world of hurt and cleaned up as soon as he lands. Hot LZ. Hot LZ. Crit trying to make a run for it. He's going to be able to get off a lot of bursts. Blows up Fog, but taking down Fog really not worth giving himself up.
Wow, they're just going to leave that gem, leave that bad boy out when there's a bounty hunter on their team.
Saw Fogged pinging it out. Fear's looking for a target. GG. So just like that, we got 2 games in the books, man, and neither of these teams messing around. They're going to win. They're going to win quick. They're going to lose. They're going to lose quick. And EG comes back firing on all cylinders, hanging a sub 20-minute GG on Mouse to force a game 3. And the return performance on MSS, as you mentioned, such a huge part of this win. 9-1 and 4. Collectively, he and Universe, well, hell, I mean, Universe, and Fear basically involved in everything. You're talking 17 of the 20 kills from EG tallied by those 3 heroes alone. And Mouse just didn't feel like the Mousesports squad we saw in game 1. Their movement was lacking. Rise was very slow to 6. And again, the Crit Lena. I mean, he played well in that mid position. Even got a solo kill on MSS's Timber just by himself. But they got nothing out of the pick outside of that. Yes, he did fine in lane. But if you're going to put an intelligence hero like that in that mid position, give him that much priority. There has to be a plan for what you're doing with him after the laning phase breaks down.
And EG, I mean, they just seem completely different from game 1 too. So I mean, both these teams very, very inconsistent. Who's gonna win game 3? Who knows? But EG definitely bouncing back from the game 1 in very convincing fashion. Mal's trying to pick the Mirana Clockwork core that worked so well for them in game 1, but the mid Lena just did not work out for them, and just everything did not work out for them.
Couldn't say it better myself. 19 minutes 7 seconds, the official game time. 20-7, the final kill score. I'm your host there in AC Chambers. Will definitely be our last game coming up on the Western broadcast. Merlini and I, and Conrad, of course, our fantastic producer. If we can get the Twitters, not coming up. Something broke. Something. Hashtag fire Conrad. No Twitters. They should be right here, right now. Oh, we can get the plate in front of my face, huh, Conrad? We can do that, but we can't get the Twitter plate. Is that how that works? Fix shortly, TM, because we're the D2L, that's why. Anyway, guys, a great series, a surprisingly fun series here between Mouse and EG. Both of these teams have been struggling, but finding some success against each other. 1-1, the current score. What I was going to say, though, is following the conclusion of this broadcast, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 a.m. Central European Time, and 9 a.m. Chinese Standard Time. We're going to have 2 of our last 4 remaining Eastern Division series coming up, and they are big ones in terms of determining who's going to be the direct qualifier going to Vegas at our finals in January and how the playoff picture is going to shape up. So head to d2l.gg and check out the standings and check out the games coming up. You can do the math yourself. It's a pretty big deal. We'll try to talk about that some following the conclusion of this match. For now, though, Game 3 on the way. Mouse taking on EG, all knotted up. We'll be right back with Game 3 coming up next on the HyperX D2L. Stick with us.